Hello, guys, and welcome to Odds on La Liga. 4 games to go, and now we have 3 teams battling for La Liga title, and this is a decisive weekend, 35th match day that we are going to analyze. Business as usual with Álvaro Romeo. Hi, Álvaro.
Hello, Edo. How are you?
I'm good, waiting for tonight's Champions League game, and also we are going to analyze this match day with you guys. So leave a comment in the comment section or also ask any questions in this live video to Álvaro. We will reply to your questions, and remember that you will have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. And of course, support us. Click on the like button if you enjoy our videos. Subscribe to our channel, of course, and click on the bell to get all the notifications. So Álvaro, let's start with the game. Not the best one, I have to say. We have on Friday, but an important one. Real Sociedad, Elche, important especially for Elche because they are now in the 19th position, so they are in relegation place after the defeat against Atletico Madrid. They were this close to get a point, but they missed a penalty in the last minute. They were coming from good results, actually, a victory against Levante, a draw with Valladolid. But be careful if you think that Elche can get something out of San Sebastián, because despite the defeat of Real Sociedad against Huesca, Álvaro, Elche is terrible away, really bad. In the last 13 La Liga games, 2 draws, 11 defeats. That's why I tend to think that Real Sociedad will win also this game.
Yes, if we made a hypothetical table of away games and home games, Elche would be, altogether with Valencia, one of those teams that, they will probably get definitely relegated if you counted only what they did on the road. Look, the truth is that against Atletico, they were not bad. They lost only 1-0, and Fidel missed a penalty in the last minutes of the game, and they could have gotten a draw against the leader of La Liga. So Elche are not a terrible team, but I think that they are really suffering from something. Weeks ago, they got only 1 point out of 9 in the games against Huesca, Valladolid, and Osasuna. And this is costing them so much. This is killing them. When it comes to Real Sociedad, they are hanging to the 5th position. They are 1 point better than Villarreal. And in the weekend, they lost to Huesca. So that tells you that Real Sociedad is not as reliable as the teams that they've got above them in the table. I think that there are a couple of key things here that Real Sociedad is faltering from. One thing, Mikel Merino is not ready yet, and probably he is the best creative midfielder Real Sociedad has, altogether with David Silva, who we happen to know that he is experienced, but maybe he is a little bit too old just to give consistency throughout the whole season. So Mikel Merino was that creative spark that Real Sociedad had, and he is not featuring lately, and Real Sociedad is missing him a lot. And the other thing that I would like to flag here is that Mikel Oyarzabal, probably their best striker, he has scored only 3 goals in the league in 2021. And this is something very unusual, number 1, for Mikel Oyarzabal, and number 2, for Mikel Oyarzabal in the Real Sociedad background, environment, ecosystem, and system, because he is normally a guy who is benefiting from Real Sociedad's high production of attacking football. So, yeah, I think that Merino and Oyarzabal, one of them not being, the other one not being at his best, is something that Real Sociedad is paying. So for this game, I'm going to go for Real Sociedad winning the game. I think that they can do it this time, basically because they lost against Huesca the other week, and probably they want to bounce back as quick as possible. So the Asian handicap of -1 for Real Sociedad is my favorite thing here. That doubles up your bet. But if you believe that Elche has a chance, you should consider as well the double chance. I always like to flag the good values there. So the double chance for Elche is 260, but personally I doubt it.
Yeah, well, 2.57 on Real Sociedad to win looks good odds, but it's 1.58 actually. So we wish it would be that high. We have to go for Asian handicap -1, as Álvaro said, to get a return of at least doubling up your money. Real Sociedad, huge favorites to beat Elche on the game we have on Friday. On Saturday, another key game for the relegation battle, Alaves Levante. Alaves, they lost 3-0 against Eibar in an awful game of Calleja's men. Actually, they were very good with under Calleja. They were coming from a draw against Valencia, victories over Villarreal and Huesca, and now that defeat against Eibar. Let's see how they bounce back against a team like Levante that right now, in this moment of the season, Alaves should win, Álvaro, because Levante, they are gone for straight defeats. Their last game, 2-0 defeat against Celta.
I agree with you, Edu. I'm going to stick to the trajectories here, I was checking the odds that we can find in Oddspedia website, that they are excellent, and also the statistics. And Deportivo Alaves haven't lost in their last 4 games, and Levante have lost 4 matches in a row. So you can see there that there are opposing trajectories. And at this stage of the season, I think that Levante is not very needed. They got, how many? 38 points, right? They are not mathematically saved, but I will say that they are very, very close to it. In fact, my bet here will be if Levante doesn't get any more points in the league, they will still be fine. But anyway, since we are not betting on that, I will tell you that Levante has not managed to score in the last 3 matches. So maybe I'm going here for both teams to score, because I think that it will be an oddity if Levante doesn't score for 1 more game. That pays only 183. So that I want. It's good enough, in my opinion. That pays 216. Just don't forget that this team under Calleja, they are improving, as you well said, and some players have been recovered for this adventure of staying in Primera Division, the likes of Lucas Perez, for example. There is a handicap of minus 0.75 for Alaves is something I fancy even better. Let me explain it very quickly. If Alaves wins by 2, you win. If Alaves wins by 1, you get half a win, and if they draw, you lose. But since I believe that Alaves are more needed, and therefore they are going to go for this game with a bigger energy, I'm going to back Alaves to win, and even to win by a little margin.
The normal thing is a home victory, but be careful. Be aware of that defeat against Eibar and how Alaves bounce back and react with this crucial game against Levante for the relegation battle, and crucial game and the best game. Well, we have 2 great games actually in this match day. Barça Atletico, third against the first one. Wow, this is almost the title of La Liga will be played at Camp Nou like some years ago. Barcelona coming from a victory 2-3 against Valencia, but remember that the last game at home was a shocking defeat 1-2 against Granada. No one could see that. Whereas Atletico de Madrid, they are getting lately the results, 3 victories in the last 4 games without conceding goals, which is important for them when they win, because they lost against Athletic. But they are not convincing. Álvaro, let's remember that last in the reverse fixture, Atletico won 1-0. Is important also for if they have the same points at the end of the season. What do you expect here? Barcelona, of course, huge favorites, but also I have to say that Barcelona, they've been failing in every single big game this season.
Almost, because they managed to win only 1 important game this season.
Copa del Rey.
In the Copa del Rey, yes, exactly, in the second leg against Sevilla. But yeah, I am aware of that, and I think that Barcelona are fallible. Atletico as well. Just don't forget it. Look, here I think that what happened in the reverse fixture, it is important, because obviously Atletico de Madrid will like to keep that head-to-head advantage with Barcelona, but the teams have changed so much since that time, because Barcelona is probably point-wise the best team in La Liga's second half, and Atletico was the best team in La Liga's first half, but they haven't been consistent enough. When it comes to Atletico de Madrid, the other day, as I said during the Elche odds, Atletico managed to get the 3 points, but let's don't forget that Fidel missed a penalty, and Atletico could have drawn against Elche. That would have been a disastrous scoreline. Result, after losing at Athletic Bilbao's ground. I think that the team, little by little, are recovering important players. Luis Suarez, he looked a little bit sharper against Elche the other day. Marcos Llorente is still scoring, and he's going to be, in my opinion, the biggest threat that Atletico can put in place, all together with Yannick Carrasco, who happens to be playing very well again. a little note about Marcos Llorente. This is a player that when Real Madrid signed him, he seemed to be a holding midfielder, somebody who could actually help Casemiro, and now he has contributed to more than 10 goals in La Liga, and this is the kind of midfielder that with these stats, he will be very highly regarded in a country like Germany, for example, and I think that the Spanish national team should make sure that Marcos Llorente has a place in the team. When it comes to Barcelona, it's unbelievable the amount of chances that they shoot themselves in their own foot. Did you see the goal the other day that they conceded against Valencia in that corner kick where Lenglet lost completely the marking? Well, this has been a constant thing at Barcelona this season. The amount of mistakes that they do in defense, they pretty much invalidate them to be candidates for anything. The thing is that then, up front, more or less, Griezmann has stepped up. In fact, he has scored in the last five goals in the last 5 league games. And Lionel Messi, it's back to his scoring levels, more or less, despite him missing a penalty the other day. So for this game, I find it a little bit difficult to find the odds here, or the favorable or the profitable odds. But I found these ones. For example, I like the first half draw here. That pays 230. That's a possibility that I see happening with Atletico staying tight in defense at the beginning. Barcelona to win alone, paying the 191, it's something that I would recommend for those who want to make what they think it is a sure bet and maybe put more than $1 in it. And I'm going to keep for the ACCA the both teams to score thing, because I believe that Atletico de Madrid, they have some power going forward, and Barcelona at home, normally they score. And at the same time, they are very leaky defensively. So, my favorite bet for this game will be definitely the first half draw, and as I say, that pays 230. But I don't know. This is a game that is a title decider, and I don't know what's going to impose itself, either the fear of losing or the hunger to win it.
I think actually the draw in general is a very good bet, around 4. And if we go for Atletico double chance, we have odds both 2. So it's also a good option. Vivica is telling us that Atletico will be very good defensive. So I see them winning. Actually, I think the odds are quite unfair for Atletico. I see them getting something from Camp Nou, and Idris is flagging something that has been controversial in Spain in the last days. I would love to see the result of Barça versus Atletico after the meeting in Messi's home. They had a barbecue when it's not allowed, with a lot of players in Messi's garden. Of course, in Messi's garden, you can put 2 football teams together, and it's not the right thing to do in this time of COVID.
Absolutely.
So let's see what happens in the Camp Nou. Of course, Barcelona can get into the first place if they win and Real Madrid don't beat Sevilla. Atletico, they can lose the first spot even if they draw. So it's going to be very, very interesting what happens in this match day. Probably the one that ends up leading the table at the end of this weekend has a lot of options for sure to hold the title. We will analyze later Real Madrid-Sevilla. Is going to be played on Sunday. Before, we have on Saturday also Cadiz, Huesca, and Cadiz completely saved. Salvation granted after beating Granada away. Hands off for Álvaro Cervera, actually the coach. No one thought that last season they were going to be promoted, and they are going to stay 1 season more in Primera. Whereas Huesca, they will need to fight to get the salvation, but they made a really huge step by beating Real Sociedad 1-0. Maybe now Álvaro, Huesca can benefit from Cadiz relaxation after getting the salvation, or not really.
I think that Huesca is going to show that they are more needed in this game. Cadiz, as you said before, they have already reached the threshold of 40 points, which normally that means that you get an automatic passport to stay in Primera Division for another year. Cadiz did well enough last weekend, beating Granada with a goal from Sobrino. That 1-0 will keep them in the Primera Division. Not mathematically yet, because I think that there are some variables that could go against them. But yeah, they are arithmetically, they are pretty much safe. And the manager, Álvaro Cervera, celebrated the other day. because he knew that the team is going to stay in Primera Division another year, and this is very important for the finances of the club. For this game, the bookmakers make Huesca favorite. I believe that this is down to the fact that they need the points more. And I think that Huesca, they have improved under Pacheta. We've spoken about this in the past, but against Real Sociedad, they took it to a different level. Pacheta, the manager, said that they had done their most complete all-round game of the season. And it's difficult to disagree with that. Keeping Real Sociedad without scoring one goal in a difficult game against Real Sociedad, who are fighting to keep the 5th spot on the table. This is very good by Huesca. And now they've got a couple of good chances ahead of them. Look, they are playing Cadiz this weekend, and then they are playing Athletic Club Bilbao. I'm not saying that playing against these teams is easy, but Cadiz and Athletic Club Bilbao, if they are playing for something now, it's just for their pride, really, because they don't have a lot to play for. Then Huesca's end of the season calendar can be a little bit more tricky against Betis or against Valencia, right? Because Valencia, they are still not safe, and Betis, they want to finish 5th on the table. But I'm going to follow a little bit the bookmakers here. They make Huesca slightly favorite, and I'm going to follow that. And I'm going to say that Huesca to win away is something that I do like here, that pays 225. But the real value, and this is a little bit speculative because Huesca, when they win, they don't win by a big margin. But let's say that they win by 2 goals, for example, right? An Asian handicap -1. That pays 352.
Why? I disagree, really, because I think odds for Huesca are too low, actually. They haven't shown that they are a better team than Cadiz, but you are right, Alvaro. Cadiz can be relaxed. Huesca, they need the points. That's why probably the bookies give Huesca lower odds. Let's see if they can beat Cadiz at the Carranza. They are not great, actually, this season at home. They are better away. And the last game we have on Saturday is Athletic Osasuna. Athletic maybe is now the judge of La Liga, yes, because they were able to beat Atletico de Madrid in their last home game. They beat Sevilla away with Iñaki Williams scoring the winner. So after the Copa del Rey final, actually 2 victories, 2 draws. They want to end the season in the best way possible, and maybe this is another victory at home against Osasuna, team that they've done their job, and they lost against Real Madrid and Celta recently, so maybe we can go here for Athletic to win or maybe a draw. What do you think?
Well, in the odds, there is a little bit of generosity for Athletic Club Bilbao, I would say, because if they win, you only get, you get 183. I believe that they are not that favorite against Osasuna, really. This is a derby, let's don't forget it. But the truth is that Athletic Club Bilbao, they have recovered already from losing 2 cup finals, and they saw that against Atletico de Madrid, and they saw that against Sevilla. I was very impressed in both games, but especially against Sevilla, and I tell you why. In my opinion, Sevilla deserved at least to get a draw, but Unai Simon, the goalkeeper, did a couple of terrific saves to prevent Sevilla from scoring. But all that said, let's don't forget that Athletic Club Bilbao lost Raúl García against Sevilla in the middle of the game. Dani García, one of their best midfielders, is out. Ander Capa is out for the rest of the season. And Iker Muniain hasn't been playing. Neither Yuri Berchiche, who is the best fullback of Athletic Club Bilbao. So I'm talking about many absentees for Athletic Club Bilbao lately. And they have been playing with some youngsters, one of them being Iñaki Williams' brother, Nico Williams, who scored against Sevilla, by the way, but the goal was cancelled. Okay, but, they are playing with some youngsters like Sancet, Morcillo, Nico Williams, and these guys, they are performing in top games. Let's don't forget that Sevilla and Atletico de Madrid, they were playing the Champions League a month or 2 months ago, and they managed to show competitiveness against them. So I agree with you. I think that Athletic Club Bilbao can be the judge of this league. They are still yet to play against Real Madrid. Let's don't forget that. So Osasuna, they are carrying through the feats since they got the 40 points. I believe that they made a tremendous effort between February and March to get a collection of points that nobody expected. And it's pretty understandable that they have decompressed a little bit after reaching 40 points. So I'm going for the following in this game. I think that the both teams to score market is a nice one, 230. It's a decent value, that one. The Asian handicap of -1 for Athletic Club Bilbao is what I like here. That pays 261 though, and this can be my favorite for this game. Or another market that I suggest you give it a think to is the Athletic Club Bilbao winning the first half, which is something that this team is capable of doing because they can put a lot of intensity from the beginning. That pays 260. So the Asian handicap -1 at the end of the game, Athletic Club Bilbao winning the first half, basically they are paying equivalent amounts, and those are my favorite bets.
Then let's move on to Sunday's games, starting with Getafe Eibar. We've been saying this for weeks, but if Getafe win this game, maybe they get the salvation, or finally they will get the salvation in their hand. They lost against Villarreal when I expected at least from them to get something there. 4 points above relegation. Remember that they were able to beat Huesca in a massive win only a couple of weeks ago, but at home they are struggling. 3 draws, 1 defeat in their last 4 home games, and now they are, playing against the bottom team of the table who got a victory 3-0 against Alaves. Kike scored a hat-trick, breaking a run of 15 La Liga games without a victory. Here, now or never for Getafe. Álvaro, and the odds are not that bad, actually, 2.25, not that bad, but who can trust Getafe right now?
It's difficult to trust Getafe, but it's even more difficult to trust Eibar. That's the thing, exactly. Despite what they did last weekend with Quique García scoring, by the way, a hat-trick, has to be said and has to be remembered. This man has been basically carrying all the scoring burden for Eibar during the season, and full praise for the man. I think that he's been doing very well. Getafe doesn't have great scorers this season either. Ángel Rodríguez and Jaime Mata, they have scored 5 each. Quique García has scored 12 for Eibar. That tells you a little bit the story. If Eibar had another player who could contribute with a couple of goals, they could be much better. But anyway, for this game, I think Getafe to win, it's all right. That pays 225, and personally, I think that this is more likely to happen than Eibar winning. But I put my eyes in some other markets here. For example, the both teams to score market, since Getafe plays at home and they will be obliged to attack. And Eibar, they have scored 3 goals in the last game. The both teams to score market is something that I wouldn't discard. I think that this is more likely to happen than the opposite, because I don't think that Eibar can do with a draw here. I think that they need a win because this is one of the doable fixtures that they've got ahead. So I can see Eibar attacking and pressing high the way they used to do it when they were a good team. And Getafe, of course, playing at home, they have to take their chances, or at least to create chances. So both teams to score 240 is something that I like here. And there is another market, Edu, and I know that you will like this one, that has to be flagged here. The over 5.5 yellow cards in the game. I mean, Getafe and Eibar are teams that if the game gets aggressive, they will get aggressive. And since they are facing a critical situation, both of them, I think that at some point their dirtiest, scruffiest face version can show up. And the over 5.5 cards, I find it by no means something very easy to happen. So that pays 215, and this is my strange odd of the weekend.
It's not bad, actually. Seeing these 2 things is not bad at all. We will see. It's going to be an afternoon of nervios in La Liga with this Getafe Eibar and then Valencia Valladolid. There were big team news with Valencia. Javi Gracia was sacked. He presented his resigning letter some months ago, like 6 months ago, actually, but now he's been sacked because Valencia is only 6 points away from relegation after losing against Barça 2-3, and also because no one understands what is happening in Valencia as a club. Is very sad, actually, and be careful because they are facing Valladolid, a team that also forgot how to win. No victories in the last 7 games, 4 consecutive draws, the last one against Betis, and draw by draw, they are not going to get saved. They need to win a couple of games, and they have a very difficult calendar, so be careful with Valladolid going down. They are going to face Villarreal, Real Sociedad, and Atletico de Madrid. So also, Álvaro, for Valladolid, this is a doable game. But Valencia at home, they are not a bad team, even despite their defeat against Barça, of course.
I know. If we only counted the results at home, Valencia would be in the comfortable part of the table, mid-table, not much higher, but definitely in a better position than they are now. But away, they've been very bad. But at home, they are all right. And against Barcelona, I didn't dislike Valencia. It has happened to me throughout the season a lot, that I think that they can play good football. I think that there is an unbalance between how good the left side of the team is and how bad the right side of the team is when it comes to attacking, with Gaya and Gonzalo Guedes being able to produce something on the left, but they've got a right wing where nobody actually is capable of, getting to the line and send the cross. Musa, at the beginning of the season, was one of those players that I thought that he could be important for Valencia, and he plays on the right, but then he disappeared from the lineups. And I think that this has been the story of Javi Gracia at Valencia. There were some players at the beginning of the season that you could say, all right, maybe Valencia, they haven't done the signings that Javi Gracia wanted, but Kangin Lee and Musa, they are very promising prospects, and Valencia should use them, And Javi Gracia, they haven't gotten he hasn't got the best of these players. So I can understand why he was sacked. The team looked a little bit dispirited. All these things said, a player like Carlos Soler, for example, is not an equivalent case of Marcos Llorente, but I take off my hat with this guy because he's playing in a central role and he has hit already pretty much double figures if you put together assists and goals. Again, maybe this is not something that in Spain we value a lot because we like maybe another type of midfielders, but in a country like Germany, a player like Carlos Soler will be highly rated. So Valencia, they haven't won in their last 6 games, and Real Valladolid, they haven't won in the last 8 games. I think that I'm going to base on the quality here to take my bet. I think that Valencia is going to win because they are simply better. And if they win, they put the season to bed. And Valladolid away record this season is so poor that I cannot trust them here at Mestalla. They have won only twice away this season. So Valencia to win, I like it, 2-10. And another one, which is slightly more speculative, I know, a clean sheet for Valencia, that pays 262. But at the same time, I am absolutely sure that the players will like to please the new interim manager. Well, new. He has been an interim manager 6 times, but with Boro, Valencia has always performed commendably. So I'm going to go for a clean sheet for Valencia, for a very professional display from them, a clean sheet for them that pays 262.
Valladolid, the team with most draws in this La Liga season, 16. And as we said, Valencia is strong at home, 11th in the table, only if they played at Mestalla. Well, the odds 2.10. If someone fancies the victory of Valencia, or a draw, if someone fancies that, is 3.3. Then let's move on to an interesting game and difficult to predict, in my opinion, in La Cerámica, Villarreal, Celta. Maybe we can see goals here, but this is difficult to predict, especially because Villarreal is playing in Europe. On Thursday, they are playing a massive game at the Emirates. Despite their European games, they were able to beat Getafe in the last game with a lot of rotation from Unai Emery. Jeremy Pino was the one scoring the winner, whereas Celta, they are getting better in the last games. They beat Levante, they beat Osasuna at home, and another team that want to end the season in a good place, Álvaro, but it's kind of a roller coaster. It's very difficult to predict Celta and also Villarreal, 2 teams very difficult to predict, I think, right now.
I know, and Celta has almost nothing to play for, and there is a question here in our chat about whether the teams who are safe won't give the 100% in the remaining games of La Liga, and I think that if we explain it like that, it sounds very bad, and but the truth is that there is a massive difference in energy and in the passion you put in the game if you're already safe. And we have seen that with Osasuna, we have seen that with Levante, and Celta has benefited from that because Celta, at the end of the day, let's don't forget, Celta beat these 2 teams that I talk about in the last 2 games, Levante and Osasuna. Celta, they somehow, they can still think that Europe is possible, even though it's very difficult to think that they will qualify for the Conference League next season, right? But this is a team that they play attacking football. When they feel that there is an opportunity ahead of them, they've got a certain level of dangerosity when it comes to the opponent's box. But this time they are playing against Villarreal. And Villarreal is a team that is stepping up a little bit at the end of the season again, like they did last season, you know. They are eyeing European football. They are eyeing their first trophy in their history, apart from the Intertoto Cups that they won at the turn of the century. And this is a team, Villarreal, that is so used to playing Thursday, Sunday again, that I don't think that this is even a factor for them anymore. For example, against Getafe, there was no need to use Gerard Moreno to win the game. It was the youngster, Jeremy Pino, who scored the goal against Getafe. So, you know, there are players who are ready to step up, to come up from the bench, and to show Unai Emery that they want to be important for the Yellow Submarine. So, this time I'm going to back Villarreal to win. That doubles up your bet. And I also like the over 3 goals market here. That I find it very appealing. That pays 245. Celta is very happy going forward. Villarreal, pretty much the same. So I can't see having more than three goals in this game.
Idris is right. Any slip of Villarreal will give Betis a chance to overtake them in the table. Betis playing on Monday, and remember that no one wants to play, I think, the Conference Cup, so they will put all the effort in these last 4 games to qualify at least for the Europa League. Villarreal still can qualify for the Champions League if they are able, of course, to win the Europa League. And on Sunday, the last game in the evening at Valdebebas, Real Madrid, Sevilla. Real Madrid will be extremely tired, I'm sure, after the game they have tonight in Stamford Bridge, because the Zidane is going to put everything there, and we know how our Real Madrid strength right now in this moment of the season. So many players are either injured or recovering. The last one injured is Rafa Varane. The thing is that the best thing that this Real Madrid have right now, Alvaro, is that they are not conceding goals. In the last 4 La Liga games, no goals conceded, only 1 goal in the last 6, and it was in El Clásico. You are always tipping right, actually, Real Madrid with the clean sheet or not conceding goals, probably, although Dani Fisichella would argue that. Courtois is right now the best goalkeeper in Europe, and he's saving Real Madrid many times. And Sevilla, they lost the train of La Liga. They lost against Athletic. We just said it. They were in a really good form. They lost, remember, also the reverse fixture in the Sánchez-Pizjuán in a moment of the season when Real Madrid was going down. Even they were talking about Zidane getting sacked. Real Madrid was able to beat Sevilla, the Sánchez-Pizjuán. So, what do you expect here, Álvaro? Not many goals.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. Not many goals. I would like to say hello to and thank you to Red Ram, one of our listeners, because he is praising us for our odds and our bets. I love the signing, by the way, like you, Red Ram.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, exactly. Great movie. Let's talk about Real Madrid Sevilla. I am fully with you here. I think that sometimes I have a little bit of a tendency to go for the both teams to score. Here, no way. I've got no in capital letters. I tell you why. Because Real Madrid has been defensively so solid. And at the same time, Julen Lopetegui can be slightly conservative. And this is going to play in the favor of Real Madrid. The thing with Lopetegui is that if he is conservative against Real Madrid on Sunday, that would be unacceptable. Because Sevilla can only win to believe that, or to keep the belief that they can still win the title. If they draw or if they lose, they are out. I believe that what happened to Sevilla against Athletic Club Bilbao last Monday was a huge blow, because Sevilla was having a great run and they were playing against Athletic Club Bilbao. Let's not forget, Athletic Club Bilbao have won only twice at Sevilla in the league in the last 28 years. Athletic Club Bilbao beat them in 93. And in 2011, when Marcelo Bielsa was Athletic Bilbao manager, well, in 2021, this Athletic Club Bilbao, with plenty of youngsters, because the best players were in the sidelines, beat them. And I think that Sevilla deserve at least to get a draw against Athletic Club Bilbao. Don't get me wrong, but they are still lacking from a player who can actually make the difference in the big moments. Lucas Ocampos tries. He tried it in a bicycle kick, but that didn't work for him. And Nesiri is going through a little bit of a patchy form. Luke de Jong, when he comes from the bench, he's not delivering. And I think that Papu Gomez, he tried a lot, but he's still settling down a little bit at Sevilla. So Sevilla is not a power force when they go forward, when they go to score goals. So that's why I'm going to back Real Madrid to win to start with. That pays 212, irrespective of the consequences of the game against Chelsea. And a win 2-0 for Real Madrid is something I fancy a lot here. That pays 370, and it will follow pretty much a trend that is happening lately. Real Madrid is barely conceding goals, and let's don't forget that maybe Varane is out, all right, fine, but Militao, Nacho have stepped up, and these are players who have given Real Madrid an invaluable solidity.
And Ramos is back. He probably will perform tonight. Colchoneros is saying that I think Sevilla felt the pressure of everyone thinking they could win the title. That is probably true, actually. Well, they are out of the race. Remember, we are talking a lot about that Chelsea, Real Madrid that we are going to see tonight. And after Chelsea, Real Madrid, we are going to have another live video with you, Alvaro, and with Dani Fisichella analyzing the final that we are just going to know the two rivals, and of course that game Chelsea Real Madrid, that is going to be very interesting. We have a video, of course, about the Champions League, and Alvaro also predicted the Real Madrid to win. Let's see if he's right. I really hope so. So let's see the other game we have on Monday, Betis Granada. Betis still, of course, they have something to play for. They are 7th right now, so qualify for that competition that UEFA created for absolutely nothing, and they are run 5 straight draws, a team that didn't draw at the end of the season, at the beginning of the season, and now they face Granada. Difficult also to predict Granada. They are able to beat Barca, but they lost at home against Cadiz. Not an easy one to predict, this one, Alvaro, especially because the odds for Betis, a team that, again, is very difficult to trust, are very low, 1.83.
Yeah, but this is something that has been happening throughout the season. I think Granada has had less trust than they actually deserve this season. I don't know what to put it down to, but the truth is that if the phrase "you are defying the odds" was ever created, was for a team like Granada. They've been doing very well this season, and what they did, beating Barcelona the other day, was a display of know-how. Look, Betis, they could return to Europe this week. For that, they have to beat Granada, and they have to make sure that Athletic Club Bilbao and Celta don't reach 45 points this weekend, okay? So Athletic has to, I explain it like this. If Athletic and Celta don't get 45 points this weekend, and Betis wins, they are in Europe, in the Conference League. Maybe they don't want to be there, but they are in Europe. And this is big for the team. Let's don't forget that they made an investment. They made sure that they did their best to keep their best players this summer. Fekir, Canales, those are players that, they are interesting for any club. And they kept them. So I think that this time, Betis is going to win. I am fully aware of the threat that Granada can present. But Betis is playing for something more than Granada this time. Betis are coming at the back of 6 draws in a row. That's a lot. I don't see that happening again. 7 straight draws. So I'm going to go for both teams to score in this game. That pays 185. Betis to win, you get a similar value, 183. Maybe a value that I like here is the under 2 goals market, because I think that we've seen Betis sometimes struggling to score, maybe because their main strikers are not hitting the numbers that are expected. So the under 2 goals market, 288, that can be kind of all right. But if you want to find something nice here, it could be the Asian handicap. I think that you can get a good return for your money if you trust Betis. The Asian handicap -1 for Betis, that pays 255. And let's don't forget that Granada is rather a leaky team. For all the praise we're giving them, it's true that Granada sometimes they are too happy defensively, and at the stages during the season they've been the team that has conceded more goals.
Raymond is telling us both teams to score, and Idris is saying Betis to win. Alvaro, do not complicate your life. We will see on Monday.
Edu, but this is what's happening this season. Granada doesn't get the trust they deserve. Idris, think about it. They've been in the Europa League quarterfinals, and they beat Barcelona the other day. We have to be a little bit cautious when we assess Granada's games, because they have been unpredictable, I give you that, but they have been a good team as well.
Same as Betis, really, really unpredictable the whole season, despite the good players they have. Then Alvaro, all 10 games, explain, analyze. We have a lot of tips. Let's see the ACCA for this week.
Yeah, I pick a strange one. I try to forget a little bit about the title deciding games, because I think that these are, a little bit unpredictable. So I'm going for the following. I think that an Asian handicap -1 for Real Sociedad against Elche. In the Barcelona Atletico, I didn't go for the result at all. I went for the both teams to score. Cadiz Huesca to win away. And in the Getafe Eibar, I picked the over 5.5 cards. That together pays 16.83.
Okay, we will write it down in the description of this video. Also, your ACCA with the odds. Then, Alvaro, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone, also for being with us. And you can still leave a comment below, of course, and have the chance to win that £10 free bet with Novibet. And click on the like video, on the like button if you enjoy our videos. Subscribe to our channel and click on the bell, of course, to get all the notifications whenever we do a live video, like, again, tonight after Chelsea Real Madrid. And if you want to listen to our videos in a podcast way, you can also do it. We have a podcast for you. So, Alvaro, let's see each other later. And also, remember, we have 4 La Liga games more, match days more. So, next week we are back.